I wanna address elephant in the room, guys. I wanna address coronavirus. I study illnesses and viruses for a long time, and really, this corona shit is nothing special in my opinion. Like, it has big amount of people who are affected by it. But if we actually look statistic, you have much deadly viruses right now, and you had much more deadly viruses in history. So, yeah, you should be concerned, but definitely all of the panic and all of the hype around it is really ridiculous. And I investigated a lot what is the cause for stuff like coronavirus, and I came to the pretty interesting conclusion. So, as a sorcerer, you probably already know that we as a species have a collective field. We all share collective field of energy. Now, we constantly generate energy and information, and we send it into that energetic field. And we send within that field positive and negative energy. And the reason why you have so much viruses right now is really simple, from my experience. Because our collective field is receiving a lot of energy every day. If we send too much negative energy into the field itself will start to send negative energy to us, and it will try to reduce the amount of people so we can stop bombarding the field with negative energy, and field will balance itself out. So when you have too much people throwing negative energy into our collective field, what will happen is field itself will feel threatened and it will send negative energy at us, and illnesses such as coronavirus, Ebola and stuff like that will emerge. When shit like this emerge, the only thing which is clear is that planet is overpopulated and we are sending too much shit into the collective energy field, so collective energy field tries to reduce the amount of senders in order to balance itself out. It's really simple. And I think a lot of those people who claim that coronavirus is somehow created by some higher power outside of human control aren't exactly right, because a lot of spirits influence our collective energy field as a species. But we are the ones who have the final say in this case. And instead of pointlessly panicking and throwing even bigger amounts of negative energy into the field, and by doing so making situation worse, we should try to be calm, we should take precautions, and we should do magical actions to help our collective field to balance itself out. So all of those drama around of coronavirus is nothing and has nothing to do with the virus. Of course, virus is deadly. Of course, virus is taking the human lives. But all of that hype around the virus, in my opinion, has nothing to do with the virus. It has to do a lot with the nature of capitalism and with its need to constantly have new fresh news to entertain us with. And every major power uses coronavirus as an excuse to push political agenda. For example, America uses coronavirus. United States of America, they use coronavirus as a means, in my opinion. They overhype coronavirus so they can hide the fact that they are deploying the troops into Italy and other European countries right now. America, United States of America, recently, when this corona shit started, deployed tens of thousands of troops into Italy, right? And nothing is covering that. Everybody talks about coronavirus. In China, they use coronavirus, which is indeed deadly, but they use the virus. And they talk only about the virus in China also, but they don't talk about the fact that they are right now destroying the environment and the ecosystems of Earth and China at unprecedented rate, and they are turning the China into the shithole. Also, totalitarian Chinese government is shitting on its people day by day, and they also use coronavirus to increase the hatred towards the foreigners in China. But of course you won't hear it in the news. What Russia is doing right now is a little bit different. What Russia is doing is, right now, Putin literally made himself dictator in Russia, okay? Russian parliament was officially dismantled, and then Putin literally resetted his terms so he can be president until 2036. So technically, Putin used this coronavirus craze to become lifelong dictator in Russia, officially. America used this craze with coronavirus to send bunch of troops into Italy. And what America or United States together with Saudi Arabia did is they literally reduced the price of oil so they can put the nail in the coffin of Russian economy, and Russian ruble is already plummeting. And yeah, people in a cult community, instead of discussing those things, they discuss coronavirus, okay? Coronavirus is deadly, but our governments do not care about coronavirus. And what they care about is their political agendas, which they push behind the scenes. Why coronavirus craze is going. And coronavirus has everything to do with our collective field, which we are creating as a species, and nothing to do with some transcendental beings which send us divine plague and shit like that. So, yeah, if you wanna help humanity against coronavirus, call some healing entities such as Marbas, King Paimon or Archangel Raphael to send positive energy into our collective field to resolve the epidemic on a quicker rate. And in my opinion, we will probably see coronavirus again. It won't disappear, and it will continue to claim lives. But remember that governments do not care about coronavirus. Because if they cared about coronavirus, let's talk about Chinese government, or Chinese government specifically, you would never have such a widespread epidemic. Okay? The reason why coronavirus got out of control is because Chinese government realized that it will destroy the economy of China due to the quarantining. So they allowed virus to spread onto other countries in order to share the crisis of China with China, right? So if everybody is quarantined and if world economy is stopping temporarily, because not only because of a virus but also because powers that are wanna use the craze around the virus to do some things behind the scenes. Yeah, I talked about a lot of things which are happening behind the scenes right now. by the major powers, by the major superpowers of the day. And nobody talks about those things. Everybody talks about fucking coronavirus. Yeah, coronavirus is deadly, but it's not the most important thing we should be preoccupied with right now. It's concerning, but it's not the end of the world. In my opinion, Putin becoming lifelong dictator in Russia, America deploying tens of thousands of troops into Italy, and China fucking the environment are much bigger things we should think about. And yeah, nobody talks about that, everybody talks about fucking coronavirus. And one really important thing about coronavirus is that really what is shown to me is that the biggest virus of humanity is not any illness, it's stupidity. Because so many people are doing so many stupid things. For example, this toilet paper fucking craze. You know, people think that buying toilet paper will somehow cure them from coronavirus. You'll have most ridiculous recipes for healing coronavirus ever. I never read so much crazy recipes. And what it's shown us is the complete lack of rationality in majority of human population. I am for taking precautions. I am for taking care of oneself and taking care about one's environment and society, but I do not support the dumb behavior which is happening right now in majority of the world. And unnecessary panic which isn't actually solving anything and which is making things worse if you really listen to this video. And what this panic showed us is that we as a species didn't progress an inch in last 3,000 years, okay? We are still dominated by monkey-like primal impulses, which come to the surface as soon as we are threatened, in the smallest way. So, yeah, cool the spirits, send the positivity into the energy field, do some rights to help the world with coronavirus, but also care about much more important thing than fucking coronavirus, which are happening right now. And there is a reason why media overhyped the coronavirus, because they are doing a lot of shit with organized government and governments and superpowers and different banks and corporations behind the scenes. So thanks for watching, and please be rational.